Hello everyone and welcome to Introduction to Linux Week 4. The objectives for this week is starting to work with find, starting to use ls with wildcards, and starting to work with processes and being able to kill a process as some of the commands and switches that will be important for you to know. Using switches in Linux. What you want to think about when we're talking about Linux is the sentence structure of the commands that we are running. So as you all know, at the command prompt, we are generally going to see a command being run, such as ls. What we can actually do is start wringing a little bit more out of these commands by including switches. Sentence structure means the order that these things are run in. So for example, at the command prompt, it's always going to start with the command. Each command might have different switches that go with it. Switches is generally going to be a dash with a letter. -L, -R, capital R, -S are some popular ones that are with a lot of commands. And then the third part of the sentence can be the potential for arguments. We want to pay attention to case. A -R is not going to be the same and give us the same results necessarily as capital R. We also have the ability to combine switches. So in the example of ls, or list files in my current folder, or list everything in my current folder, I could have ls-l give me the long list. I could have ls-a including hidden files. I could also do ls-la, which would be the long list including hidden files. An argument is another piece of information that we can pass to a command if we want to have the ability to run that command on something special. Now, some commands such as copy or move are required to have arguments. You can't copy something if you don't know what you're copying or where it's going to. In the case of a basic command like ls, it doesn't necessarily need to have an argument, but it absolutely could have an argument. When we're talking about using find, what you want to do is start playing around with the different types of find. Perhaps you'd like to do a basic find your file. Perhaps you'd like to do a find file within a specified folder. We could start incorporating wildcards that you practiced with last week and do things like find all files that end in .txt. We could also do things like take find and have it be case insensitive. There's lots of different things you can do with find, and one of the best things to do is start practicing with it. Wildcards, we have a couple that we're going to see commonly. A star or a splat is a wildcard that can indicate any number of characters. A question mark is going to indicate any single character. And then when you see square brackets, that's going to indicate sets. Now you can actually combine these. So let's say, for example, I wanted to find files that start with A, B, or C. What I would be able to do is use find and then have the set A-C, and then I can put a wildcard of splat or star after that set, so it would be square bracket A-B close square bracket splat, and that's going to say I want to find all files that start with A through C. This is something that you can practice with a little bit. There's also some examples in your Linux Pocket Guide if you prefer to look at written examples. Then we want to look at processes. One of the things that's important to practice in Linux is how to kill processes. Now, to see the processes that are running in the system, you can do ps or ps-a. When you do this, you're going to see all of the processes that you own. There's a lot of different options. Feel free to go into the manual to see some of the other options and start playing around with it. And then we want to have the ability to kill processes. Now, the command to kill a process is kill, and then it needs an argument, which is the process identification number, or process ID or PID, and that number is generally a semi-large number. And the way that kill works is you would say kill process ID, and then that's going to kill the process. Now, there is something special called kill-9. I always refer to it as kill with a big stick. And that basically means that the process that we're looking at didn't die. We didn't interrupt it properly. For whatever reason, it wasn't able to be killed using regular kill. So we would say kill-9 and then the process ID number. Now, if you would like to practice this, which I do recommend, you want to create a junk process to practice on. You don't want to practice on your, say, bash process because you will boot yourself out of the system. So usually what I recommend is a very silly process called sleep. So what you would actually type in is the word sleep, then you would have a space, then you would have a number, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you would have an ampersand, the and symbol, directly after the number with no space. And what that command will do is normally sleep would have an argument of another process that we would want to put to sleep. In this case, because sleep has no process as an argument, it's going to put itself to sleep. The number refers to how many seconds you want it to go to sleep for, and the ampersand will tell you that it's going to be sleeping in the background. So if you do sleep space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ampersand, and then hit enter, you will create a junk process to start practicing kill with. Now, you can make as many of those as you would like. Please feel free. For the lab for the week, you're going to be creating a test directory with a number of files so that you can start practicing with find. If you find yourself struggling to think of file names, that's completely fine, but don't name your files A, B, C, D, things like that. Try to be a little bit more creative so that you can start playing with find a little bit better in a more real life environment. Think about naming schemes such as characters from your favorite video game, characters that die in Game of Thrones, locations in your favorite books, stuff like that. If you have any questions, please let me know.